All right. Hello, world. Say hello to the world, Chad.
Hey, how are you doing? Welcome, world.
So today I am chatting with Chad Scott about self-love, and I'm super excited because he is the creator of How to Stop Negotiating with a Terrorist Toxic Relationship Workshop. So that sounds a lot like self-love to me right there. He is an accountability partner. He is a certified life and relationship coach. And I'm just going to throw this in for fun. He's a
Mhm.
foodie because I love food. So I've got to throw that in there. And you also like fashion because you have a line somewhere. I'm not
Yes.
sure where it is. Yes. So why don't you just share with the world a little bit about yourself, your journey on becoming, a certified life coach and relationship coach, and even your journey to becoming a foodie, just for fun.
Yes. Yes. So, real quick, the funny thing about me is becoming a life relationship coach, that's the universe. That's the people who forced me to get into this world. Because I was always giving sound advice and I used to manage talent. I still manage talent from time to time, but that's what my bread and butter was. But in the journey, I was helping mainly women navigate the dating scene. And every time I helped them to get a ring, I would post it on the Instagram. I post a ring. I didn't put their face in it, just a ring. I give a little details about their journey. And it was just because. Like it was no kind of understanding. So once I got the 10th ring, people were like, yo, Chad, you need to do a workshop or something. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be a character. They're like, no, you got something going on. So I'm like, you know what? Let me do a workshop that the same concept I had with many people, I just put it into like a workshop format. And that's when and now I did it a few times with Playtime Worldwide, and it ended up now we at 23 or 24 rings now. So once I did that, I said, all right, now let me pivot, the word of the pandemic, let me pivot and now get certified life relationship coach. So now I can add more tools in the toolbox as I start spreading the awareness of it. So that's how that came about. And foodie, I always loved food since I was a kid. Like food just always made me feel good. It's like an R&B song in the back in the day, it just hit your soul right. So I always been into food and eating. So that's my love language.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. I think I agree. Food is its own love language for sure. I can plan my entire day out around my meals. So yes, it is its own love language. But I think it's interesting that you said you didn't want to be like a characterization, which is
Mhm.
interesting since you actually were getting results. I mean, 23, 24 rings, that's results. That's not characterization. It would be a characterization if maybe you had gotten 0 rings or even 1 ring. But
Yeah, I think for me, when I start seeing coaches, and some of them not really coaches, talk about relationships and dating, and this feels like very cheesy, very go power, love yourself. And it's like, yeah, how do I love myself?
right,
And there was no steps. It's just fast talking, and then you don't see no results.
right.
So for me, I was like, I'm sorry. What are we talking about? Like people want to see, especially I don't know you from a can of paint. They do want to see why should we listen to you? Why should we listen to Chad? Why should we listen to you? And then you just show results and testimonies about, oh, okay. And then once you hear your philosophy, your ideas, you're like, okay, all right, let's work for you. So yes, that's why for me it was always like I just saw seeing it look like a car salesman sometimes. I'm like, I don't want to be that guy. Or like the situation with me is like me being single. People, the first thing they say, "Where's your ring at?" I'm like, I know when I'm single. I know why I'm where I'm at. It's not about me. But I'm like, so look at the scoreboard. Like I hear you,
Right.
but I get the questions and I appreciate the questions. But it's like, no, I know why I'm single, and that's the first thing they ask me every time. Like, where's your ring at? I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it for the gram. Like, trust me, when I find her, trust me, it's going to be authentic and not just doing it just to do it.
Yes. Well, again, that's important because you're honest about where you're at.
Mhm.
You know where you're at. And maybe even knowing where you're at helps you to have better insights because if you're self aware and you know what's going on with you, then you can help others, like by asking the questions or doing whatever that work is or that awareness is that they need. Yeah, I think people have certain stereotypes of what it means to be able to coach someone or teach them.
Just like everybody has different ideas about success, right?
Yep.
Your view of success may not be my view of success. Your view may be about money value. My success is about, am I happy?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why even with dating and we're going to talk about self-love, you have to really understand what is it for you? How is it, does it represent for you? And then from there, you can navigate and then also try to find someone or even within yourself, align. Not only
Yes.
your wants and your desires, but how you align it with your actions that you do every day. So yeah, so it's a full circle when it comes to that. So that's why for me, it's like I'm very authentic and honest with who I am. Therefore, it translates, and this is why people can relate to me more, and not to seem
Yes.
like I'm just selling them something.
Yes, I love it. So actually, you said something that just brought me into the next thing I wanted to chat with you about, because you were talking about success and definitions of it. So
Mhm.
love, even, and then you also said it earlier, like food was your love language. But how do you define love, or how can someone go about even learning about what their own definition is of love? Because sometimes I think maybe we create our definitions around love and success based on what we saw in our families or what we see in society or on social media, whatever it is. But like, how do we create our own definition for love? What would that look like? And how does that even connect with self-love? Like, how does that all weave together?
Yeah, so like you said, a lot of time when it comes to how we view love, most of the time it's childhood. It's about past experiences. So sometimes we look at things with trauma lenses because we were damaged or hurt before. So love is one of the things where, like you said before, you have to love yourself. And that's not, how do you love yourself? You have to do the work. And that's why we talk about what is the quote unquote work. It's really taking time to really sit down with yourself and figure out what do you want in life, but also break down what is it. You ever heard something called shadow work?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So those that don't understand shadow work, people look at it as you talking to your inner child, right? Your inner you as a kid. But it's basically you just really asking yourself the questions. Why am I this way? Like, why am I quick to have an attitude? Why am I quick to sabotage? Like, you really have to really dig down and try to figure out the why. Why is this? Why? And then they can start now formatting rational and irrational thoughts and how to see, can you process it? And that's when we talk about mental health and therapy. Like, you have to find a way to do the work to unpack to now create your new definition of what is love to you or what you're looking for. That's why I tell people all the time, you gotta look at yourself as almost like I know people hate when I talk about business and love, but you have to look at yourself as the brand.
Mm.
And so look at yourself as a brand. And now you want to rebrand yourself. So you got to take inventory and try to really figure out what works but don't work. And now as you do the shadow work, therapy, and really get in tune with yourself, you can now rebrand yourself. And the more you love yourself, the less you will entertain of lacking. You can now introduce the world to how you want to be treated because you set an example for yourself. That's why it's very important when it comes to coming from a place of lacking.
Mm.
It may mess up the way you look at love or look at how you love yourself. If you come from a place of lacking, therefore, the new phrase that everybody talk about, love bombing, where you may not love yourself and it's someone love bombing you and it feels so good, but it's not real.
Yeah.
So that's why if you insecure about yourself or you don't love yourself or you don't financially feel like you're ready, whatever that is, you got to be careful to address those issues. So when someone comes with you, it's not because of a place of lacking. It's just that we are aligned with what we're trying to go, whatever our goals are. But it start with you. Like, spoiler alert, the first thing I talk about in I do not negotiate with terrorists is you your biggest terrorist.
Yes. Yes.
So it start with you. That's why I'm an accountability partner. Like, I understand everybody can play victim, blame it. Nah. What are you doing? Like, you got to take accountability for your actions, but that's how that works when it comes to those things.
Yeah. I feel like what you're talking about is like that intimacy with asking yourself the hard questions. And so if we can't sit down and ask ourselves the hard questions, which are really uncomfortable, honestly, I will say from personal experience, it's uncomfortable trying to like get into those shadows that you want, like the shadows, because you don't really want to deal with them. And then, and they're painful a lot of times. And then you get into a relationship, and then there's shadows in the relationships for whatever reason, whether it's because of like something that's legitimately taking place in the relationship, or like, right, a past insecurity that you have and you haven't done. And then like you have like these shadows of like fear of rejection and fear of conflict and everything. And you can't sit with the other person. If you can't, how can we do that if we don't sit with ourselves?
Yeah. And that's why I tell people all the time, it's the work, right? I'm not really big on pillow talk. Like, I hear you. I want a man. I want a better life. I hear you. Trust me. I hear you. Now it's about, are you willing to do the work for it? And now if you do the work, then you start seeing it, how it manifests itself. So yeah, definitely it's not going to be an easy role. Like you said, it's going to be a lot of things you're going to have to face. Because the idea of mastering yourself, it's going to be an all-going battle. We always change, but understanding how we work could help navigate how we move in our day-to-day life, and with principle of what our brand is, so to speak.
Yes. We are our own brand. Yeah. We have to be comfortable with our own brand. It doesn't always
be
come out perfectly.
At all, right? So we got to rebrand ourselves. And as we brand ourselves, some of the people we going now, as we take inventory, we're going to have to promote some people. We're going to have to fire some people. We're going to have to demote some people. We got to make some adjustments. And some people may not like your rebranding. They like you the way that you was because you did something for them. But now that you create this new boundaries, they may not be a fan of it. And now you feel guilty because now you feel like you're a quote, unquote bad guy. You're not a bad guy. Right. You just love yourself more. I still love you. I just love myself more. And what we're doing is not aligning with what my goals are.
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta love somebody from a distance. It's not knowing it has to be a romantic thing. It could be family. It could be friendship you have 15 years where y'all could outgrow each other. And now I still care for you, but this is not working. I'm not being the character I am around you is not who I want to be around. And you triggering me or whatever. You have to have those hard conversations. I know it sucks. That's why I said it's not the fun part. Like, when I'm telling you about being accountable, that's not fun. That's not a buzzword.
It's not a buzzword. You don't hear it talked about. Today, I'm being accountable for my part in my life, the role I'm playing.
And that's why for me, it's like, I don't look at situations about being viral, right? I understand that I may get 20 likes. I may get 10 likes because the subject matter is not a fun matter.
Yeah.
It's about doing the work, and that's not fun. People want easy fix. They want to work out. They want something fast and quick. This is going to be an ongoing battle. This is a marathon that you really got to understand what you're saying and your actions aligning with it, and how you're showing up every day for whatever goals you want. Yes, I said it sounds good when somebody tell me what they want. I hear them.
Yeah.
But are you willing to do the work? Like, even when it comes to marriage, do you want the ring or do you want the marriage? Two different things.
Very different.
Yeah, so it's just really being honest with yourself too about what you want too. Because a lot of times people want to perform like, I don't want to say, well, no, what do you actually want?
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's not fun. Yeah.
You have to be honest. Yeah. And that's kind of sometimes scary because like sometimes you look at yourself and like, oh, what I honestly want makes me seem like a really shallow person. Well, then, I mean, I don't know, what you want is what you want. But
yeah, like I said, it's very important for that. Like, really be honest with yourself, because the more you be honest with yourself, you can be honest with other people, and you can find someone that you align with. But first of all, you got to be comfortable in your own skin and who you are.
Yes.
And that takes work.
Yes. So this is maybe going to be an interesting question since you're a man. And men don't often talk about beauty traditionally. But that's why I want to talk with you, because I think it's good for, men to talk about this. So what is the connection for you between self-love and beauty? Because we can't really Photoshop ourselves. We can Photoshop ourselves or filter ourselves, but then when we show up in real life, you know, so how does that all work, self-love and beauty to you?
I think when it comes to self-love and beauty, I think that, like you said, men don't really talk about it too much. They're like, I just show up. But I think nowadays, men in general is getting more conscious when it comes to stuff like that now. Like it's a shift a little bit when taking care of themselves now, the grooming of themselves, and not looking at it like, ooh, you get pedicure, manicures? Oh, you get a facial? Well, it's not that same kind of even going to the gym. Like all these things is about showing, taking care of your body and taking care of yourself. And I think from that is it make you feel good. And I think that from there, for men, we're being more understanding that it's not just a woman thing. These are things that we need to do to self-care, love ourselves, to make sure we feel good about ourselves and not just try to, hurt people. So we gotta make sure we feel good about ourselves so we could show respect to someone instead of not trying to hurt somebody or try to dim somebody's light to make us feel good or make it feel like a man or whatever. Like we gotta be able to now understand it's okay to create boundaries as a man. It's okay to take time to self-care and love ourselves and make us feel good. Like I said, we talk offline when I tell people all the time, women majority, like, you got a full mirror? And then now for me, I'm like, I broke mine. I said, I need a new one now. Because you got to make sure, you represent, will feel good by yourself too. So, yeah, like, it's definitely, I invite more men to look into how they be the better version of themselves. Because there's one guy, he texts me like I'm like it feels like every other month. He would text me like, Chad, you're around so many women. You got anybody for me? And I'm like, but I'm like, yo, what are you doing for yourself? Like, once again, accountability, right? And are you representing the best self? I said, are you taking good pictures in your dating apps? Like what are you doing to improve, to be more desirable in the sense, or make you feel good about approaching women instead of trying to go to the back channel and try to want me to hook you up with somebody? Like, what are you doing? And that's part of it, is feeling good about yourself. And I think more men should take more, I would say be assertive, but show for yourself.
Show up for yourself. Yeah.
And advocate for yourself. So I think that I think more men should advocate for yourself. And part of that is showing up and really showing what you're looking for, what you want, and feeling good about yourself, whatever that is. Like we talked earlier about love language. I said food, my love language. But whatever, as men, we have love languages too.
Yes.
And we need to tap into it. I invite every man to take the quiz.
Yeah.
And see what your love language is.
Yeah.
It does change, but if my love language is touch and I'm single, whatever, then I may go to get a massage. So a lot of times we talk about love language, we tell people like, this is how I want to be loved. But once again, we talked about earlier about loving yourself. Yeah. So whatever your love language is, you could do it for yourself as well. Yes. If word of affirmation is your love language, therefore you do self-talk. You self-talk, you prep yourself, you make yourself, like whatever that is. Yes. If it's act of service, you will go to a therapist, whatever it is, or organize the clutter we have in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever your love language is, you could do it for yourself. Is it receiving gifts? Buy yourself something nice. Yeah. So we have to understand where we have to use the tools that's available for us to love ourselves. And, we always about love language outwards, but we have to perform love language to ourselves. And when we do that, once again, I talked about earlier about we're not coming from a place of lacking. I love myself. So I want to show up to somebody, it's authentic, basically.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of times people will put off their happiness or love because they'll be like, well, once I get into a relationship, I will, but if you are treating yourself, why wait? Like, if you want physical touch, go get a massage, right? Or they even have those little hand massage things, There's different ways you can go about it. Get a fuzzy blanket and wrap yourself up into it, Yeah. So why delay? You could already be experiencing it. Yeah. And then you're not so stressed of living in the future. You're living in the present.
once again, you got to take accountability, and even for your own happiness.
Yeah.
So you got to do things that feel good. But a lot of times, as a man, sometimes we look like, even married, like happy wife, happy life, right?
Yeah.
As long as she's happy, I'm happy. But
I mean, to a
that
point.
we have to change that.
But
It's a partnership.
yep.
So we need to talk. And that's why I always tell people all the time, even with guys and women, even I do, once again, I tell you, I live my raps. I talk to somebody about my expectations. Because my expectations of dating, my expectation of girlfriend, my expectation of wife may not be aligned with what your dreams are. So at least we understand what I look for. If I say I like to go on date night once a week, I'm setting what my expectations are, what I feel like I feel good about. And if you accommodate, we accommodate it. And not because I like it, I'm forcing it, but this is what I like, this is what you like, and we can try to see, do we gel right?
Yeah.
Or it just, So I think sometimes we don't want to be the bad guy a lot of times. So we scared of, I always tell people, like, a lot of people won't rock the boat. F that boat. Like, we have to stop doing that and try to work on eggshells. Don't want to, we need to be honest with each other. That's why part of me, I hate the honeymoon stage. Like, I want to be honest, and let's really figure out what we're doing here. That's just me personally, though.
I mean, you said something about the honeymoon stage, and in the honeymoon stage, each person is trying to please the other. So, right? So you're going on that date night once a week or whatever it happens to be, within reason. I mean, if you skip a week, it happens, right?
Yeah.
But, you're, for the most part, consistent with it. And then 10 years later, you're like, okay, we haven't had date night once a week in 8 years. What is up with that? And that's not good. I don't think. But I mean, it takes energy. I think it's like a full all-out commitment because you don't always feel probably like doing date night once a week.
Yeah, as I said, that's why it's so important to do check-ins, not only with your partner, but with yourself.
Yeah.
So you just like, all right, and address these things in a certain kind of way before it blows up. Or you've been holding it for so long, so when you do blow up, it just all over the place. You're like, where's it coming from? Yes. Nobody's a mind reader. So you got to be comfortable with having those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah.
And find ways. That's why I like date nights and checking in, where we can check in with each other. What we going on, what's going on, what's concerns we having. So people so scared to rock the boat, or they feel like it's going to blow over eventually.
Yeah.
No, we got to be proactive. Not only in our relationships, but even with ourselves. We just can't play victim all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
sticks with us and holds us back when we play victim. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's the world. Nah. What are you doing? Are you communicating that you don't like this? Are you communicating that you want something that should be added, something you like, something you want to stop, how it makes you feel, and be honest. But like I said, I be honest with a lot of women tell me that guys don't communicate. And it's like, we gotta use our words. We learned that as a kid.
Yes.
Our parents like, use your words. Now we adults like, use the word. You're gonna be store it and just be quiet. No, we gotta have a conversation about, because therefore we understand we gotta make sure we understand we're on the same page. But the biggest thing is about self-love is we have to set the tone. If we all over the place, we don't know what we want, we need. How do we communicate that?
Right. It's hard to communicate if we're confused.
Yeah. That's why that's why when guys or women talk to me about something, I'm like, what do you want? They're like, oh, what do I want? So how can you communicate if you don't even know? You're just like, I don't like it. Well, what you don't like about it? Because you need to express that with your partner.
Yeah. And sometimes you don't know, and that's okay. But with your partner, you can kind of figure that out if you're asked, like, I mean, so don't make it up. If you don't know, like, why you don't like something, I don't know. I'll get back to you. Let me think about it.
And spend time with the thinking. So a lot of times people don't want to do that, right? Or they don't want to have a conversation, but you definitely have to understand when you advocate for yourself, you're going to have those conversations. Just like your job or anything, you got to stand up and say, or like you said, you may not know why but then you got to take time like, yo, I don't know. I give me some time, but something about this don't feel right to me.
Right. Yeah.
And find ways to how you express yourself. You got to write it down. You got to journal, like whatever you got to do to try to figure out in words so the person can understand what are you saying? What is your act, so to speak? Yeah. But you just like, I don't like it. You should know it. This one is being vulnerable. You don't like it because you feel insecure about something? Do you like it? You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody want to play those games, but it's definitely, it's just having those conversations with yourself as well as with your partners. And I think that a lot of times we scared to have conversations. Like you said, the shadow work we talked about earlier. People don't want to do the work on themselves. They just feel like, some people, I hate the phrase when people say it, to love you all flaws and all. I hear you.
Well, yes, but
but it's always about trying to be the best version of ourselves.
Yes. Yep.
And not to say, it's because I'm a Gemini. No. That's not an excuse. It's about being accountable. You just can't use your signs or whatever to feel like it's beyond you. It's above you. No. You can take action and do work. It's not going to happen overnight. There where grace comes in, even for yourself, you can't be frustrated about it, but you got to also show you're trying.
Yes. I mean, I absolutely love a good Aquarius joke, but at the end of the day, I am going to take responsibility why sometimes I'm like, commitment. Okay. I mean, it really has nothing to do with the fact that I am an Aquarius, really, at the base of it.
Definitely. So like I said, I think our time we just have to understand being the best version of ourselves and taking care of ourselves, but now able to be more in a healthy relationship and understand how do we navigate that. But it starts with self. That's what I said. The first thing I say is you're the biggest terrorist. Yeah. So you got to figure out how to master yourself. And you're going to have to understand, okay, feeling like the bad guy. It's okay to create boundaries. It's okay to act on those boundaries and let people know, yeah, I'm serious. And like I said, it's going to be repercussions or consequences for it, whatever.
Yeah. So you're a man, so maybe you have some insight. So as a photographer, I do work with people in a lot of ways, kind of like more intimately than they would, in other ways. Because it's like a connection, right? You have to get them to come out of their shell, especially if they're an introvert, for their photo. And I will say that men give me a way harder time than women. The insecurity that I have found in men about how they look, their beauty, is way more intense than women. Women will complain about things. Women might want to lose a little weight. Maybe they don't like the gap in their teeth, whatever. But the intensity that men come up with it, and like, they don't like their face, or like, I was blown away when someone told me that. I was like, I think you need to forgive your face for being your face. But for real, like, men, so why is that? As a woman, like, why is that? And how can I help as a woman? Like, just in general, it's a little, it bothers me, that it's like so intense for men. And, I do work with people, and usually by the end of a photo session, people aren't feeling much better about themselves, but yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, like, so with women, even though it's a makeup thing, or they here not where they need to be at, they could get in being vulnerable, right? Mm-hmm. And you being a woman, you can convey to them and show them, like, oh, this is a great shot. This feels, those words of encouragement works, right? So when men is one of the spotlight's on them, and then they nervous. This is when you see insecurities. So men will walk around all bravo, but now when the camera on Showtime, a lot of them like, what I do with my hands? Like, it's a lot, and they hate coming because now they feel they don't know if they're going to be in judge.
I'm sorry, can you say that last part?
Being judged. They don't want to be judged. So what happens is, like, I see when women take serious when it comes to dating apps, where their pictures are good pictures. And a lot of guys on dating sites, their pictures are bad.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I tell guys all the time, so I tell women, like, yo, guys, we always talk about men and visual creatures. Women are too.
Yeah.
So let's make the good pictures. Like, work on get a photographer, get headshots. Like, if you want to date seriously, be comfortable, but once again, about being vulnerable. And that's why even when men in therapy, it takes a lot to be able to, okay, I can be vulnerable here. And photography, as you know, you gotta be vulnerable.
You do. It is. I mean, the camera will see everything. It's very humbling. It's humbling to be in front of a camera. Yeah.
You can't hide. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be able to be whatever. If it's a theme photo shoot or just a regular photo shoot, you gotta buy into it and be vulnerable. And I think more women, even though they may have insecurities, whatever, they understand when it comes to pictures, being vulnerable. They do it all the time sometimes. With men, we don't have a lot of opportunities where we could be vulnerable. So when pictures come up, we got this stuck. Like, I don't know how to. I gotta be. Can I smile? Like it just.
You can. You don't know how many times I feel like it, especially like culturally, can be. Yeah. If I ask, depending on who I'm asking to smile as a man, I can get looks, and I don't care.
Yeah, but that's what it is. So like, just like I said, spend time in the mirror. Men and women should spend time in the mirror. Like, it's just getting comfortable in your own skin. And part of that is doing this, like you said, loving yourself. And if you want to lose weight, the steps to lose weight, whatever you want to do to feel like the better version of yourself. But in that process, still love yourself and still have that grace. And I think a lot of times men get nervous about that. Like, yeah, you may not feel like you wherever you at, but still be present and be comfortable. But yeah, it's work. It's a work in progress. So I know you see it all day when it comes to cameras. But yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see that being a thing where guys get more like what to do in photo shoots.
Yeah. It is. It at the beginning it was surprising. When I first started shooting. Yeah. Now I just kind of expect it, but but yeah. So, I think it's good to get a man's perspective on it. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like I said, it's, you could, show confidence or move around, but when that camera on you, it's a different experience. And I think for men, we get back to being guarded a lot of times, culturally or not, but like as guys, we very guarded. So now that we being able now with therapy, more men going to therapy than ever, especially Black men, is now we can be able to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that translates in all facets of our life. But like I said, we can't use that. We gotta use our words. We gotta communicate. And like I said, you may have to go to therapy to unpack and try to figure out why you guarded the way you guarded and how it affects other people, not only to yourself, but how is it disservice for you when you're not able to communicate your wants, your needs, and how you feel. And that will help translate in other aspects of your life. And also when you do a photo shoot, you feel comfortable with yourself. Yeah. You still be still scared because everybody, spotlight's on you. So it's still that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's normal to be nervous. I'm not saying,
Yeah.
It would also freak me out if someone like showed up a little too confident. I'd be like, okay, this is also weird.
Like you said, a healthy balance.
Yeah, a nice healthy balance. Yeah.
But like I said, it's like I said, that's why I said we're kind of men. I like the fact that we being more conscious of how we showing up. Usually is of what men usually just you wear good cologne, that's it. But now they be more conscious of the outfits they pick and be comfortable of self-caring and it's still more people need to do more about that and self-love. But I like the fact that I am seeing it in my timelines. When I see a guy getting a pedicure, I make sure I show extra love. When I see a man smile in a picture, I make sure I show I see you.
Yeah.
Just change the narrative. You don't have to be screw faced in every picture. Yeah. But it's about, once again, back to doing that work. I know it sucks, like doing homework. I know.
It is. It's like a daily homework assignment. But it doesn't have to be major. It can be like small things, like literally just looking in the mirror after you brush your teeth and be like, smile at yourself. Yeah. I mean, it does not have to be anything like major every day.
That's why we talked about earlier how important it is being mindful of how we talk to ourselves.
Yeah.
Being mindful of the thoughts that come in our heads and be able to start controlling that. And why are you saying that about yourself? Or you know what I'm saying? Like you definitely have to start really paying attention to sometimes, like I said, you're the biggest terrorist. So you gotta be careful how your mind will talk you out of something or put complex on you that it's just you. Like, you ever watch Insecure?
I haven't. I don't have a TV,
right.
And I'm bad at keeping up with like the apps for watching the apps too.
Mad apps. So Insecure, Issa Rae character, she used to look in the mirror, and in her look in the mirror, the mirror image of her would talk back to her and give her doubts.
Oh.
They're like, you know, you can't do this, whatever. So in that process, that's how we do it, not in the mirror or whatever, but it's in our everyday life. We have to be mindful and shift it. Like, why am I snapping out of it? Like, why am I saying that to myself? And this is why self-talk, journaling, having that prep talk in your head to shift your mindset. Because, you know, thoughts rise to actions. You got to be careful how you treat yourself. Because you can beat yourself up, or like you don't deserve certain things. Like, you deserve happiness. You deserve love. You worthy of it. It's not something precious. Like, you deserve these things. So you gotta believe you deserve it. That's why people are saying they don't think there's good men out here or good women out here. If you come with that mindset, you will not find a good person.
Right.
You have to believe that there is that hope there that I will find someone and I'll be aligned with them, but I have to show up for me and try to attract that one. But if I feel doubt, like all women just want money from us, or they're like, you have that mindset, it will show up.
Yeah, I mean, I've lost as soon as I met you, and I haven't even known that I've lost. And then I'm wondering on day 6 why things aren't going well.
Yeah.
Because
so like I said,
without knowing it.
Yeah. So you gotta be careful. Like, you have to understand, you can't put that, you gotta be mindful of it. Like, nah, just because that relationship didn't work, there will be another. You will find someone that will work with you. But now you just have to understand that. But if you ain't mind, no woman want me, or all women this, you projecting, you gotta be careful. Why are you thinking that work? That's why I said about shadow work and going to therapy, trying to unpack why. Because we think it's facts. We look at things with trauma lens. We think this is facts. All men cheat. This is facts. No. It's experiences, but it's not facts. So you have to be conscious of that. That's why I said it definitely, when it comes to men, especially, we gotta be careful of the self-talk.
Yeah.
Because we have to understand that, you know, it may have been something may happen in high school and you hate women since high school. That's not, you know that? Just because Naomi broke up with you in high school don't mean all women don't like you.
Right.
See, so yeah. That's what I'm saying. I think that when it comes to as men, we definitely have to be, once again, taking accountability. And can't play victim, or this is how women don't care about us, or we don't care. We have to care about us. Care about yourself. And then now you can once again rebrand yourself. And now you can spread the word of your new mission statement.
New mission statement. My new purpose. Yeah. Purpose. It's
vision, yeah.
We have to have, if we don't, I think personally for myself and men that I've chosen, I wasn't thinking about putting it in my purpose. I was thinking, oh, I like adventure. Okay, well, adventure is fun, but that's not like a partner that I can build. Like, it doesn't align with my purpose, even though I'm sure my purpose will lead me on adventures.
Yeah. So you said you want adventure, you see red flags, but you think it's a carnival. That's an adventure. But it ain't not
not more than I bargained for. But
that's why you gotta be very
Yeah. No, you were saying?
No, I said that's why you gotta be really spend time with yourself to really figure out what do you want. And that's why even dating, you could date someone and see, oh, I like this, I don't like this. Okay. And work on it and not just feel like, you know, I like you, so this have to work. No. Sometimes, once again, it's just we not aligned. And it's okay. But people do take it personal sometimes.
That's true.
Or feel like they're a failure. What's wrong with them? No, it just didn't work out. It's okay.
Yeah, that's true. So let's say 2 people have done the work. They are in a really good place, right? They have good, healthy perspectives, their identities, you know, they're healing their identities, you know, intact. So they get together and now, you know, they're either dating or they're even in a marriage with one another. How would you, so sometimes like people I feel get lost in their relationship. So they start out and they are okay, right? And then whatever happens. And now all of a sudden their identity is wrapped up as this person's girlfriend or this person's boyfriend or this person's husband, wife, whatever it is. And then how do we maintain that self-love so that we can still be like with that person. Like, you know, there's the phrase, right, in the marriage, like to become one. So how do we be one, but yet still maintain our identity? I'm asking a really hard question, I'm sure.
No, no. No, so what happens when you said people get in relationships and like you said, become one, right? And it's like, we do everything together. That means necessarily be the thing, right? So basically you're saying, how can you relationship and not lose your identity?
Yeah. Yeah.
So this is why it's what makes y'all unique and different, you could be that way, right? So once again, we talk about love language. We could have your own tribe.
Yes.
So you're able now to have your own world, so to speak. So now that if y'all not kind of stuck at the hip, that's your relationship. Like you said, if you like it, I love it. But if it feels like you're not able to be individuals, you may have to figure out ways to have that kind of isolation, not just your job when you're not working the same job and you come back together, but y'all understand your individuality and like you said, self-love to yourself. Like whatever, find things for you that you enjoy that may be separate from your partner.
Yeah.
Whatever your thing is. Yeah, I think that you just gotta be conscious of that. Even in relationships, we're gonna have to talk. That's why, like, every time somebody get married, my advice is don't forget date night. Because I think sometimes we get so caught up in life that we don't check in with each other. We so caught up in life. Or you have kids, you caught up in life and kids, but you don't be in tune with each other's life. And really, it's like two ships in life. But if you really want to be in tune with your partner, y'all gonna have these talks instead of waiting for just going through the motion. Like you said, 8 years you ain't going to date.
Like, what is that? I mean, you went on 3 dates or whatever. I mean, there's kids, you're tired, there's this, that, but it can be really detrimental.
Yeah, like date night don't have to be outside or just a TV. Like it could be ways like playing the card games. Like it's just ways we can interact with each other and still check in. It don't have to be a formal year in review, like all right, like a job. But it can be fun ways, and there's so many dating games now, card games, where we can still stimulate each other and try to see what we like about certain things. But yeah, I think that what happens a lot of times we get so caught up in the relationship. Sometimes we lose ourselves because we don't want to. Basically, we don't rock the boat or say something we might offend. So we just go through the motion. Hopefully, this blows over, or that's just how they are. No, let's have a conversation so we get past this. Yeah, so yeah, but people, it once again, it's about doing that work. I know it sucks going back to that all the time, but yeah, I think that it's okay to have your tribe. Like, not just find things that's for you that's still for you.
Yeah, like a hobby, Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. So maybe you can share the hobby, with your significant other, but sometimes you want to go somewhere by yourself. Whatever it is, a gym or going to a game, like whatever your thing is, it's okay. Yeah. You had a life before that person came there. We understand.
Yes, of course.
So yeah, I'm worried about that. Like, yeah, have a, ladies' night, have a blast. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? But I think what happens is with the pandemic, it forced a lot of people to sit with each other, for better, for worse.
Yeah, a lot of relationships either broke up or got closer.
Got stronger.
Yes. One or the other.
Sometimes, yeah, because some people got distracted with life. Mm-hmm. And now we stuck in the pandemic. We had to be with each other. Like, you know what? I don't really like this person.
No.
Or we not partners anymore. We just, just basically roommates in a sense. And we gotta be more in tune with each other. So yeah, this is one of the games, but once again, it's about not playing the victim, being accountable, and have these conversations with each other, and also with yourself.
Yeah. Still have those conversations with yourself.
Yeah, you got to check in with yourself. Am we good here? Am I happy here? Do I want something for my life? Because you may have personal goals and relationship goals.
Yeah.
And you got to understand that.
It
could be, yeah. So you make sure you still understand your personal goals. Your personal goal, maybe I need a new job. So you're not happy because you want a new job. You hate your job. Therefore, let the person know it's not you. It's just I hate this job. Mm-hmm. So and how can they support you to try to look for the next job, whatever. Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, sometimes it only be the person. But if you think you mad at me, I'm mad at you, and I'm just mad at my job.
Yeah.
That's why I'm distance. I'm trying to process.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely good to check in yourself before and then have to check in with your partner. But if you're single, it's great to check in yourself and, like I said, bring awareness and understand not just about flaws and all, but what areas in my life I can improve
Yeah.
to get ready for the next relationship I want or the vision I want for the next relationship. Or if I'm happy being single, how I'm navigating that and still performing my love language on myself. So I'm still feel complete and not just from lacking, like we said, to avoid love bombing and all that jazz. Like we have to take accountability. That's all. Like it sucks, I know, but it's so worth it.
It is. It is. It is. The end result is worth it. I mean, the masterpiece. We are our own masterpiece. From an
yeah.
art.
And I tell you, yeah, 'cause, for me, I love myself, right? So me loving myself, I'm able to advocate for myself. I'm able to say thanks but no thanks. The power of saying no. I understand me able to say, hey, I love you, I like you, this is not working. And distance myself. And like I said, I tell people all the time, not on a bragging sense, but I'm all my ex's favorite ex.
Yes. I've heard you say that.
Yeah, nah, bragging way, it's just that understanding it respectful, like listen, even though I still love you as a person, it just I see we're just not aligned. And it's okay. But if I was to focus on insecurities or why have I never found love? I'll be in situations that I'm not happy with simply because I'm trying to hold on to something because I'm scared or fear that I may not get it again. But I feel like I'm deserving of love that I want to have.
Yeah.
And that's because I love myself. I do things for me that I would love. That's I enjoy company. I would like that, but it's not. I'm not going to grab it just out of desperation.
Yeah. Choices made in fear never go well, typically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I can be able to help people get ranked and love and have the conversation. And a lot of times, even when the coaching, they can't celebrate with their friends sometimes, or they don't want to, they nervous about showcasing love to, they inner circles, whatever, because somebody may have had a breakup or somebody may not be happy. But they could be in my DM and videos and show me pictures like, Chad, look what I did for his birthday. Oh, look what I did. I love that. I don't feel away. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't trigger me by seeing other people happy.
Right. But that's a good thing.
Because I'm comfortable. Yeah. So it's not because I'm bit like, oh, I'm coaching about the love stuff. Where's my time?
It's coming, Chad. It's coming.
Yeah. If it's for me, it's for me, and I'm okay with it. But yeah, I would not settle just to settle. As I said. So yeah, I think that most important thing is when it comes to self-love, is definitely understand that you deserve it. You deserve love, whatever it looks like it and whatever aspect of it, but you have to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't love yourself, that's what we need to go with. Because that set the tone. That set the tone.
It does set the tone.
You rebrand yourself. Now it's time. You got to showcase it. You got to show that you are a new company. You got to showcase that you're a new brand and what that brand looks like. And is loving yourself because you know your purpose. This is what you want. This is what you don't want. It's okay. Like I said, some times it's okay being a bad guy. It's pretty fine. But people get caught up with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this kind of goes with branding. So we talked a lot about like the inside work and everything.
Yeah.
And then there's the outside. There's the facade. And, a lot of people, I didn't know for years that you did have interest in fashion. So what's the connection for you between self-love and fashion? Because fashion is kind of like an exterior thing in a way.
Yes.
Or is it an interior thing?
I think for fashion,
connection for you?
I think, fashion help people express yourself, right? So just like piercings, like tattoos, it's an expression. And I think what comes to fashion, the funny thing about it is me and my business partner started a company because he couldn't find a jacket he liked.
Okay.
He couldn't find a jacket he liked. He called me on the phone. He said, Chad, you ever saw, let's start a leather jacket company because I need to find a jacket. So that's so him feel like he want to represent himself, that he couldn't find no clothes to represent what he wanted, right? So when it comes to fashion, it now allows you to express yourself and feel good about yourself. Just like I tell sometimes with women, like when they put heels on, it gives them a different kind of walk.
Yes.
It's funny. It was a girl at my job. When she wear flats, she just be slumping, dragging her feet. But when she wear heels, it forced her to get the confidence and the walk change. So just like clothes, like we said it, dressing up and feeling good about herself helps. So yeah, it's okay to take care of your outer work and find clothes that fit and express yourself. And I think that with my company, it's called Government Cheese, right? So it's called Government Cheese. The tagline was "Don't feed the animals." So I would walk around with a big shirt or something that says "Don't feed the animal" while I walk. And as a New Yorker, you could tell a lot of people don't get. You see so many things in New York, we don't even get phased. So the fact that I get stopped and have to have a conversation, because people want to understand what we mean government cheese. What do you mean don't feed the animals? Is it a animal rights? Like I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? So it was almost like a conversation starter. So that was kind of the fashion was. It was that kind of fashion, but it's about expressing yourself. And I think that would come to fashion is for me, it was like, let's get things that represent a certain kind of person. And we already knew in the marketing, it wasn't for everybody.
Right.
Just like us, like we talked before, our brand, it may not be for everybody.
Right.
What I'm talking about, accountability, that may not be for everybody. And it's okay. Because there's a lot of people are people pleasers. And you gotta be careful with that. You try to please everybody, you're never gonna be successful. You want everybody to like you. You want to be like, nah, I mean, I'll be liked by everybody. It's okay.
Yeah.
Like, every time, even when I work government cheese stuff, where people stop me and have a whole big debate with me with everybody.
Oh.
And I'm like, all right, I entertain when I can, if I have the time to entertain. But in those moments, I'm like, I understand what that does for people. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I also understand that it's about representing yourself. But yeah, it's definitely, fashion is definitely one of those things, like makeup and every tattoos and everything, where it showcases who you are.
Yeah.
And it helps build confidence. If you feel good about an outfit, or I wear a suit that fits, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You feel good. You want to take a picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that I think they do correlate. I think that self-love, you can do the inner work, but also your appearance. If you feel like you want to work out, it's like taking care of yourself in all aspects to make you feel like the best representative of yourself, so you can show up for yourself. But once again, showing up for yourself.
Yes, it is.
And not just definitely do the work and do what you gotta do to feel your best self, because it translates so much. Yeah, that's why I talk about the mirror all the time, like doing the mirror exercises, doing the shadow work, whatever, how you express yourself, journaling, all that helps you express yourself to make you feel at peace, help you build the boundaries, and now you're able to come up to the world to your best self, and you can track what you want to track.
Yes.
But you can't be like, I keep dating the same person, keep dating the same person, keep dating the same person, but different bodies and names. If you're not, you have to take a step back and ask yourself why. What's the cycle? What's the pattern you're trying to break?
No.
Yeah, but once you break that pattern, you see things different. Every time where you would like somebody, and once that glass ceiling breaks, and you're like, wait a minute, I like that person. Like,
what was I thinking?
Is a clown? Yeah, what was I thinking? Because once again, you was coming from a place of lacking, or you was lonely, you wanted a quick fix, so you went back to the recycling bin, your ex, because it's familiar. And then I always talk about in my workshop about, you have a sweater and have a hole in it, and you like, oh, got a hole in the sweater? You put it back in the closet, you forgot about the hole in the sweater, you ain't fixing it, and you put it back on, like, why don't we wear the sweater? Oh, it's the hole. But you may not hold a grudge, right? You may not hold a grudge. So you be like, why we don't talk anymore? And then you start connecting, you're like, oh, this feels good. What happened to us? And they're like, oh, that's okay. There's no change. So yeah, you definitely gotta understand those kind of things, but people get caught up in, nostalgia or whatever. But yeah, if you really focus on the work and love yourself, it definitely will change. But it also give yourself grace. You may take a step back. It may happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the return is quicker though.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it is.
When you have tools, you can pull yourself back. Yeah. Because I mean, sometimes things from you've been doing them since you were 5, 7.
Yeah.
You're feeling certain ways about things, right? For years, longer, than you have been on your healing journey. And so it's inevitable. But yeah, when you
That's why I said,
come back.
That's why I say it's so important to give yourself grace. You have to give yourself grace. And give those moments where it's gonna be a roller coaster. You may take a step back to take 2 steps forward. But it's just that once you do the tools and actually put in practice, the comeback be quicker. It's not gonna be a month for you to get right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You may cry for a few days, but all right, this is all right. I gotta move on. You know what I'm saying? Instead of a whole month, 2 months, you out of whack, and your whole schedule, your plans you have for yourself is out of whack because you had a bad day. Yeah, so it's just a turnaround be a lot faster when you actually do the work. But yeah, it's gonna happen. People have bad days every day.
Yeah. We're not perfect. I was just saying, I did a Facebook or Instagram live, and I was like, hate to be the bearer of bad news. You're not going to be perfect. I'm not going to ever be perfect. It's never going to work perfectly. So
and the sun will come up the next day. You got another day to pick, have a choice. And like I said, you can't keep calling it like I said, having a pity party or playing the victim. All right, this was a bad day. Okay, tomorrow is a new day. Let me give myself grace. Let me know what I'm going to bed early. let me, you know what? I'm going to bed. Yeah, and it's okay. You don't feel like defeated or you got to be productive. Just sometimes you got to rest. And I think that's what we got to understand, that we have to forgive ourselves and give us grace. Mm-hmm. Even when we came from a bad relationship, like we have to understand, we know now. We can't beat ourselves up. We learn.
Yeah.
Now, do we learn a lesson? That's why even for me, when somebody want to touch the stove and see if it's hot, it's not I told you so. It's like, all right, you touched it, it's hot. Are you clear now? What do you learn from this? What's the lesson here? But you be like, you don't want to do the work, you just want to go to, keep on continue the cycle and then mad at yourself. That's insanity.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's definitely very important to really understand not only inner work, but outer work, and being the best version of yourself. And that will attract what you want to attract, whatever that is for yourself. But if you don't show up for yourself, who else is going to advocate for yourself?
No one.
And just because you're a nice guy or a nice girl don't mean that you know what I'm saying? If you don't advocate for yourself, I did this for person, I did this person. That sounds like you feel like you're entitled or they're in debt and you're not. But if you're just doing it because, or you're just doing it because you want somebody, that's different. But if you just because I'm a nice guy, the world's round, not fair. So just because you're nice don't mean they're gonna read your mind or do right by you. Right. But if you don't advocate for yourself, they be like, listen, you gave me a homie discount, I took it.
You gave me the homie discount and I took it.
Yeah.
Love it.
You gave him a discount card and then you're mad because you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I'm very important about that, where you gotta be very conscious of what do you want, what you need, and be able to have those, hey, I want this, I need this, and see. I love you and I want you, but we just may not be a perfect fit, and it's okay. Mm-hmm. But I know in the moment it sucks and it hurts, and you want that person, the hard one with their heart. I totally understand. But that's why I said it gotta make sense. Like, you're not happy here, you stay in a situation you're not happy with because you're scared of the unknown, but it's not serving you anymore. Then why are we here?
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. I got a phone call from somebody today and telling me how she basically telling me how she talked to this guy. He's very inconsistent. And he keep on asking for another chance, right? And once she finished going on her rant, she's like, "Chad, what do you think?" I said, "Why are we here?
Why are we here?
I'm confused. You tell me he's inconsistent, but yet you give him multiple chances to disappoint you and play in your face. I'm confused right now. He not learning a lesson. He repeating it. So he's checking the temperature. He gets ego stroked. Why are you still here?" And just like, that's why I do that even with men, where it's like they complain about women. I'm like, so what are we talking about here? I'm confused. You don't understand, chat. I know heart. I know love. I'm not being a robot. I get feelings. I'm an R&B dude. I love love, but I love it when it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's all.
Well, I
You don't have to
mean,
be a glutton for punishment.
if the behavior is not changing, or there's like nothing being, like no efforts being made, it's kind of like a hollow apology. It's not really an apology in my book.
Yeah, but we gonna, I like you, so I'm gonna give you, more chances. It's almost like like you want a kid to, you barely walk walk a little faster. You be like, I'm gonna leave you, or try to close the door and they try to walk a little faster.
Yeah.
No, you try to do that relationship like, no, I'm gonna leave, or a kid that come late out of curfew, or he getting a little talking, but that's it. Nah, there got to be consequences and repercussions, and one of the things would be I may have to demote you, or I may have to fire you.
Demoted, terminated.
Yeah, you may not be the main guy I date, or the main woman I date. I may have to increase the roster. I may have to move certain kind of ways to see, because this is not serving me.
Mm-hmm.
I talked to you about it. You agreed with it. My acts, I gave grace, and it's still no changes. What are we talking about? I told her, I said, listen, why are we here? And she was like, you're right. Mm-hmm. I'm not wasting, even as a coach, I'm not wasting your time. I'm not going to be here 6 years, because I think that for people, real quick, the difference between a therapist and a coach. A therapist help people when it comes to trauma, unpacking certain things, helping you gain some tools. Coaches do the same, but therapy is more of a mental understanding those kind of past traumas, right? So sometimes it'd be great you could do both, have a coach and a therapist. I'd be entertaining the idea about being a therapist, but I'm like, I gotta see if I want to be in that world. Because like you said, as an entrepreneur, I got other things, but if I'm a therapist, I gotta be a therapist.
Yeah.
So for me, is that when it comes to coaching, where are focused on targets? Like when you coach people about their business, like you have to understand there's a goal here.
Right.
I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for, the goal is for this. Let's hit these goals. Where therapy, you be 6 years dealing with the same issue. So for me, it's like when I talk to people, I'm like, you want to date, you want to be in a good relationship, or you want to be more accountable for yourself, then these moments here is why are we talking about this right now? They show you who they are. Why are we not believing them? What's happening here?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as I said, I think what coaching is more about hitting targets, hitting goals, and give you tools in the process. Therapy more about unpacking. So yeah, I'm not going to be here milk you for six years on the topic. I got to see some action. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, on the other hand, if you're on the same topic for 6 years, maybe you should fire your therapist, because they're not really helping. I mean, something wrong, to be honest.
It's sad.
In my opinion.
There have been times where this happened recently to me. 2 people I was talking to, and they were like, I think like 3 sessions, 4 sessions. And they're like, Chad, you broke it down and made me see it a different way, where my therapist didn't do that.
Yeah.
And not the therapist, what I'm going to be, is understanding where sometimes people do milk things. Just like a doctor. Like some people are like, yo, you got good insurance? Let's ride it.
Yeah. I mean, and that's not right. So, I am definitely pro therapy, but I think not everything.
Yeah.
I mean, it shouldn't be going on forever where nothing is happening, and 6 years into it, same place.
That's why I tell people, this is why even for me, I look at it from the standpoint of, you have to date your therapist. You may have to, just like dating anybody, you got to see which one works for you. Right. Just because you grab a therapist, you may not have a good experience, you may not connect. And you be like, I tried therapy, you may have to find somebody else.
Yeah. What's the wrong
this is where self-love and advocating for yourself. So like a doctor, if a doctor say, you know your body.
Yeah.
So you be like, hey, no, let's try another test. Something don't feel right here.
Yeah.
So a therapist, you be like, yo, this thing's not working for me. But some people don't want to be the bad guy and just go through therapy all day and not getting no value out of it. Or coaching and not getting no value out of it. Like, why are we here? So yeah, that's why it's good to understand your boundaries and understand what you're looking for, so you could say, hey, and have the quote unquote uncomfortable conversation where it's like, listen, I think that we should close our sessions.
Yeah.
And that's why even when Chats got here, what I'm trying to do now as I officially launch it soon, is going to be part of that where it be me. You hire me for my services, but also get to know other coaches in therapy, sex coaches, that you may connect with them.
Yeah.
I just want you to get to work. I don't care who you get it from.
Right.
Just do the work.
Right. Yes.
So that's why I'm looking at it from that standpoint. Like, you can hire me, that's cool, or hire these people. But I like the fact that you even thinking about it, and especially as men, especially black men, more black men going to therapy. So I'm rooting for that and being an advocate for that. But yeah, like I said, it don't have to be me or as a coach, and I'm cool. It's not a money grab for me. It's just, this is something that I'm good at. I'm fine tuning it. I want to provide it for more people, but just like the rings, the ones that help get rings, it's because that was their goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that is definitely important to as we circle back. It's about self-love. It's about, inward, outward. The more you love yourself, you can now bring it out to other people, set that tone.
Oh.
But that victim playing victim is that vicious cycle, and that self-doubt, and it gotta make sense.
It does. Yeah. If it doesn't make sense on some level, something's not right. It's not supposed to be that.
Yeah, but like you said, ego comes in, people are like, I can fix it, I can change it. Nah, it's can't. I tell people all the time, no matter how dope you are, you can't do it by yourself.
No, you need something. Somehow you have to get the information, the knowledge, whether it's from a book, a therapist, a coach, a spiritual advisor, someone, somewhere. You have to be getting information from.
Yeah, and it's just adding more tools in the toolbox. If it works, it works. But I definitely like the fact that people start talking about self-love and understanding where it's so important, because they just thinking it's not just getting a facial, getting a pedicure. Self-love is really understanding what's for you, what you want in your life, to live the life that you want to be happy about. Yeah. And not to let life happen. Don't just let life happens to you. Or be indecisive. Indecisive is a decision. So you definitely have to understand, I want better for myself, and I'm willing to do the work for it. And that is one day I wake up and maybe me and my girlfriend will get along. Maybe what are you doing action-wise to show I'm doing the best I can, or I had to break up with this person. Yeah. I gave it an honest shot. Yeah. But playing victim is not the way.
No. It doesn't just we don't magically open our eyes one morning and it's all brand new.
Oh, we clicking now. No. What are we doing? Yeah. What are you doing to change your circumstances?
Yeah.
If you're not happy. Yeah, so that's why I always look at it from the standpoint. That's why even when people come to me with dating, the first thing I assess is their self-esteem.
Yeah.
How you feeling? What's going on with you? What you working on? And that's why it's so important. Even with self-love, I won't be a type of person like, love yourself, but how? One good tool is plan goals, short-term and long-term goals. Your short-term goals could build momentum for the bigger goals. Have an accountability partner. It could be a friend. It don't have to be a technically accountability partner. To hold yourself accountable for whatever your dreams and your goals are. That will help build momentum up. It helps bring that confidence up. Yes. So yeah, it's definitely ways with tools to try to figure out, how can I get from point A to point B, whatever that is. If it's a new job, fulfillment in life, love, you will have to now make the steps.
Right.
Sometimes people want to fall into things. I just
felt
gotta be proactive. What you want?
Walking down the sidewalk and oops, I'm in love. Then you wonder why you trip like 2 days later and now you're not in love.
Yeah. I always tell people love is not enough. It sounds good, but yeah, you gotta make sure that we're on the same page. I can love you, but we just not, on the same page. I want to live in the city. You want to live in the suburbs.
They're very different. I have recently learned. Very, very different. I'm like city or like in the middle of nowhere, but the suburbs. Ooh. Not knocking the subject.
But
People really like
but
it.
that's why I said it could be relationship goals and life goals and purposes, and see, does we work well together? But people don't want to be the bad guys, so we even come to breakups or understand that this may not be good for us. We had some good dates, but I don't see a connection in that sense,
Yeah.
and it's okay. You know, it's about being happy. We want to be happy here. You know, they always say you got one life to live. If you do it right, you only need one.
Apparently, that was the plan. We were supposed to do it right, because
Yeah.
it does kind of light a fire under your butt if you only have one shot. If you're like, well, I have 10 shots to do it, like, you might be a little more laid back about getting it right.
People like, yeah, tomorrow, or bitch. Now we have to be very understanding that we gotta do what we can do to live the best life we want to live. And they're gonna require work, you're gonna require discipline, it's gonna require you to try to figure out whatever tools, like you said, read a book or whatever tools. But I tell people all the time, you can quotes to your face get blue.
Yeah.
If you don't put these quotes in action, that's where the magic happens. Beyond the likes and the comments, are you doing what that quote or that whatever triggered you to do something that triggered you, whatever resonated to you? You gonna have to. That's where the magic at.
Yeah.
That's not saying subliminals to somebody that's not going to do the work. Like,
oh my gosh, you just made me remember something. One time it was for a film, and the director had rented this space. It was like listed on Airbnb, and this guy's bedroom that we were filming in,
yeah,
literally every inch of every space was covered with motivational quotes. I mean, they were everywhere. I felt so overwhelmed. It actually was like depressing. I was like, it was so much. It was like, well, where would you look? Where would you look for your motivation? I mean, almost makes you wonder, like, yeah, it doesn't work without something else to go with it.
yeah. Work without faith is dead. Like, you gotta have to put the work in. I know it sucks, homework again, but it's the core of it. It's you have to show that you love yourself.
Yeah.
And you're showing that by how you show up. You're showing that by being the best version of yourself. Not to say, I know I need to do better. No. What are you doing? If you need outside assistance, then get outside assistance. But you need to understand that you want to have you deserve to be happy. If you want love, you deserve to be loved. But you got to understand that if you're entertaining and being people's faces that don't serve you or it don't work with you, you're just blocking your blessings.
Right.
And that is all. Like, at the end of the day, where it's like you have to be very conscious of what you're doing. You can't blame it on alcohol. You can't blame it on cuffing season. What are you doing, and does it serve you?
Yeah.
If you want long term, you know what I'm saying. If you don't want it, you know what I'm saying. Like,
you don't want long term. Probably not cuffing season. It's probably not the
but
season.
bigger than, yeah. But that's why it's about you being honest with what you want and need right now.
Yeah.
Know that society. What do you want? All right, that's what you want. Okay. Are you ready for that discipline? Because you know every test have a testimony. Like, you're gonna get tested. Oh, you done with your ex? Okay, you're gonna hit your New Year's Eve. Wish you a happy New Year. The holidays. How you gonna respond now? Then you see the people with, it's crazy because people start getting triggered by people wearing Christmas pajamas, matching pajamas sets. So now
it's a nerdy way. I like it.
I like it too. But you see it, you're like, I want that. And then your ex texts you, you're like, oh my God. Yeah, no. They ain't saying nothing different. They just checking the temperature. They're going to get you in a vulnerable state. But now you gotta be 10 toes down. But what you looking for? You're gonna get tested.
Yeah.
That's what I know. Like I said earlier, I hear you, but now I need to see action. That's why I would say consistency is greater than action, greater than words. Words, I hear you. Action, all right. The consistency is where I see the pattern, the character. Are you really being who you say you want to be? Yeah. So that's what it is, though. But yeah, definitely is a work in progress, but it's so worth it. Because I think for me is I talk about the rings because that's what people want to hear, right?
Yeah.
But for me, what I enjoy by doing this, even before I got paid by doing this, is that light bulb when they get it. They see their value. They see they worthy. Single or not, they happy. And it's more of a addition instead of, you know what I'm saying? This is addition to what I'm trying to do. Instead of I'm from desperation or trying to beat the clock. Like when they in that state, like, oh, I'm happy here. I feel good about myself. I spent time in the mirror. Okay. I'm dressed up for work. You know that like, it's just that translates in so many places that people don't understand sometimes. That it does so much wonder when I see they click and then they get in a relationship like, yo, Chad. And the reason why it's that for me is that I'm not doing magical stuff is that you showed up for yourself and you attracted the person that aligned with what you aligned with.
Yeah.
And I said out of the 23, 24 rings, I gotta rewrite them things down. Out of 23 rings, there was only one divorce, but she wanted to get married she got married for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, that's a really good record. That's way higher than the national average for success rate, Chad. So
yeah, but what happens, they get the ring and like they forget about me, and that's cool too. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got it. But you gotta maintain the tools still. You gotta still be, you know that you got the ring, cool. Like I tell people all the time, anybody get a ring, like getting a record deal. But once you get married, that's when the show really starts.
Well, yeah. But that's like what I'm saying is your percentage, you only had one divorce. It's higher than the national average. So whatever you're doing in your coaching and you're teaching them how to break up with the terrorists, like it's effective. Because if it wasn't, you would have like a 60% or a 70% breakup rate.
The average of the
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I said. You have to, but that's what I said. The same tools you got to have him or have her, you're gonna have to maintain that. Don't think
Yes.
You got it. Yes, you got it. Cool. Now that y'all partnership, that's your life partner. You really gotta really intensify what's going on. And if there's red flags going on in that relationship that you ain't dressed, it is going to magnify once you get married. So we need to make sure we're in a good understanding of alignment.
Yeah.
So when we alignment, we definitely, life's gonna happen. It's not gonna be like once you get married, sunny days all day. But
no, it's not. It's hard. I would imagine, like probably the hardest thing.
Yeah. But it's about showing up for yourself and showing up for each other. And you just gotta make sure that we're on the same page. But if you're just looking from the standpoint of just want a ring, just get a ring or try to beat the clock, that's when things get, you get desperate.
Yeah. But it is important because like if you are showing up as someone else or you're faking it until you get it, the ring, then you're not going to be able to keep that. It's going to be physically impossible to maintain that. You can't maintain something that you're not for 50, 60 years.
Yeah. Because you got to do the other day. I understand the pressure of society. I understand you want to get married. I understand that. But the day-to-day operations, like a business again, you're going to have to be there.
Yep.
We're not here to help you during those days.
No. Oh my gosh.
Nope.
I have to live my own life. You have to live your own life, right? We can't be holding someone's hand 24/7 for a lifetime. Goodness.
Yeah. And so that's why you gotta understand that. So that's why I said I think that's definitely very important to really understand what you're looking for, what you want in life, and find someone if you're in that world to align what you're looking for and what you want. Now, like you said, but if you're faking it just to get those kind of moments, your authentic self, you're gonna be mad.
Yep.
And once again, we're trying to be happy out here.
And the other person
More good days and bad days.
Too. Like it's not about you. That other person deserves to be happy. Like imagine you think you found this wonderful person, and then you wake up after the honeymoon, literally after the honeymoon. You're like, who are you?
You set a facade. You know what I'm saying? So like, no, we gotta be honest with each other, be authentic, and make it make sense. Yeah. So I got you.
All right, Chad. This has been so fun. This has been really good. So thank you for your time. Thank you for all of this. And I would like you to tell the world how they can connect with you.
All right. Thank you again for the invite. We always have a great conversation. This is for the world.
This one's broadcast.
Yeah. So all social media is Chat Sky here. Currently I'm working on the actual website. I retweaked it now. Like I said, I want to be more of a resource as well as my own services. Like I said, me or my friends, as long as you get some kind of assistance. Yeah, so that's what I'm at right now. So hit me on Instagram. Chad Scott here. That's Chad Scott here. HERE. Yeah, and thank you again, Beth, for everything.
This is fun. Yes, thank you. All right. Have a good one.